Welcome back, guys. You're back with the SpitFyre Cast. It is your residing Aries.
What's up? It's Jade Cargill.
And Robbiey.
And today's episode is, a moment in the sanctuary. We're talking all things church. If anybody has a testimony, we're going to, have you come in at this time. Lay bare your heart.
Child.
So, let's leave it out soft, start talk. What did Tina say? Like, nice and easy. What's everybody?
We're going to get rough.
We're going to get there. But what is everybody's favorite? Okay, let's do singer, song, hymn, even for the old church girls.
I got a couple favorite songs.
Well, Dorinda Clark Cole is my all-time favorite gospel singer.
Okay, my mama played her in the car a lot.
Followed by Yolanda. Favorite gospel music or song?
Shout out to Country
anything quartet.
Okay, you
quartet
do like
is
bad.
What?
Okay, you just like a quartet?
Oh, I love quartet.
And don't let one of them be driving. Whoa. Hey. For me, it's either a toss between Journey's Pace or
who was that?
There's a leak in this old building.
Duranus? No, a leak in this old building is LaShawn Pace.
LaShawn Pace.
Yes.
But I also like both sisters.
Okay.
And how do you pronounce it?
The Pace sisters.
Duranus. So is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah. That's what they
I
all call
I
her.
call them the Pace. I call them the Pace sisters.
Very nice. Toss between her and do I have a favorite gospel song? Oh, I like Satan, We Gonna Tear Your Temple Down by Shirley Caesar.
That's a scary song.
It is very slave-like. I love it. I feel like I'm about to run to freedom. Go ahead.
I don't think I necessarily have a favorite gospel artist because my mom did play a lot of them, but I definitely have my favorite songs. Let's see. I Love the Lord. Classic. Always love that. I Know Who Holds Tomorrow was also another banger for me. When Kelly Price sings it, I feel something. Higher Ground by Missy Elliott featuring all the gospel legends. I don't know.
That was good.
That was a good one. It was really good. And I also like my mom always sang it. Is it Let It Rain? Open the floodgates of heaven, let it rain. Yeah. I love that. No, that's Melodies from Heaven. That's a hit too, though. That's a hit too.
It is.
Yeah, but fun times. Had a little bit of communion.
I think we've all kind of already, if it's not already aware, I'll just speak for myself first. Like, so your boy grew up in the church, like my entire life. I think pretty much from age 2. When did I officially leave? Like, y'all got this. I want to say officially where I just was not even going at all or practicing, probably around 17, 18.
Nice.
And up until that point, I was super indoctrinated. I ran the blood drive. I used to do sound and audio up in the main area. I used to make DVDs after the sermons were done. I used to helped out with Vacation Bible School. I was a junior elder. I was a junior pathfinder, which is like Christian Boy Scouts. I was in the choir. I was in the children's choir. I was in the youth choir. I helped with the Christmas Cotillion. I used to compete in the Bible Bowls.
I hated the Bible Bowl. Oh my God.
I used to tear Bible Bowl.
They would ask me a question. I was not paying attention. It's like a competition. You have to
Bible trivia.
Yeah, from the Bible.
Oh, Vacation Bible School?
Yeah, what was the name? What was the name of Abram's third wife or some stuff?
The way I used to be in there,
I used to lose them things.
I didn't pay attention.
Jehoshaphat, Ruth. that was. I loved it.
Until they'd be like, who went through it the most? I was like, Job.
Everyone want to go to Job, but there was a couple people that got it bad. But I say all that to say that I have a very closely intertwined experience within the church. I think that as much as I vehemently hate Christianity and most religion, I definitely recognize the benefit and the beauty that I gained from it. I think that's part of the reason it still gives me such amazing love and affinity for gospel music and the institution of what the church means to the Black community. I just hate most of the people that are in it, so I don't go.
Very bad.
Only because now at my, I think, less frightened self, I'm not as scared of being cast to hell every 3 seconds. I tend to maybe be a little quicker with the tongue. even if it is like a church elder or a church mother, because my whole thing is just like,
tongue, mouth. Okay.
Yeah, no, we weren't allowed to speak in tongues in church.
That's when the blessings come in.
Them is demons.
Really?
We grew up Sunday Adventists. They were very astonished. They used to clothesline people for like doing that running shit when they would do visitors.
Not that.
Running, shouting.
Oh no. We didn't
Speaking
get
in
drums till I
tongues?
was 10.
What did y'all do?
It was all a cappella.
I
And y'all was
know I'd be.
I was like, it's time to go.
Yes. We used to do are y'all familiar with like those basically Negro spirituals like it'd be a whole choir, it'd be like the
How do
harmonies
you
be
know what
nice.
keys though? It was a piano, right?
Oh no. The Aeolians
No
was,
piano.
They had a metronome. So it'd be and that was it.
Well, I'm glad that was.
There'd be someone to start the note, but that was
I love that for y'all.
but we it was better towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that
We got
for
an
you.
organ too.
They said, "Oh, y'all, we in the 21st century now."
I just know every time somebody does like a cappella, especially if it's a large group of people
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have like singers in the choir, the key will start E flat, but then it's gonna slowly just
Shifts a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, contrary to belief with my voice, a lot of people that came from the same environment with me in the church, actually, we had a pretty solid set of people. I only had one solo in the children's choir. And
Same.
they put me right back with the best.
They said, "Thank you."
This ain't your gift. This ain't your ministry.
Oh Lord.
Go ahead and make some more DVDs in the
I think
back.
actually I might have had 2 solos.
Okay.
I wasn't really. I'm not a singer though. I can't sing.
They just had like a smaller choir. They were a little more desperate or something.
Well, that I also had to do praise and worship one. I had to lead praise and
Okay.
worship at one point. Hated that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, for me, were you done?
Oh, I am.
For me, so from birth, I was in the choir stand with my mother
Period.
in her arms because I was a quiet baby, so she could bring me.
Mm.
So for that, 18 years.
Okay.
Every Sunday you couldn't skip it unless you were deathly sick or one of the parents were sick. But even one of my parents were sick, the other one would take us.
Thank God my mama let us skip some
Um,
Sundays.
Wednesday was children's choir. Saturday was youth choir. Thursday was chancel choir.
That sounds like hell.
Um,
I'm so sorry. I'm like, too much.
It really was, honestly. Like going to
it's-
church 4 days a week is
It's
nuts.
insane.
it's quite insane. Then you had vacation Bible school. Then you had a lot of church camps.
Mhm.
Oh,
That
Lord.
demon came-
The demon came.
Turn them loose, Lord. Turn them loose.
out of nowhere. But I
I
did
am getting a
all
little
of
hot.
that. I was just more choir though. I tried to do usher, but you had to deal with people a lot. You know, sit
Can't
here,
nobody spit. They gum in my hands.
And I'm not gonna hand you a fan. I'm not gonna walk back there, walk back up
No.
here, then do this, and then try to
Mm-mm.
navigate, pilot this way, come here this way. Parents were financial board.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Nana was just a church mother.
Mhm.
Grandma Margie Blue. She's more like me. She came and she said, "I'm gonna come to church and bye, and I'm not coming to nothing else."
Me.
I'm gonna say, was any of y'all like the only came to church really on like the Easter, Christmas,
No.
major holiday type people?
we weren't allowed to do that.
No.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Well, I know that.
Like after we left?
No, but I knew a lot of people that like if they were Christian,
They
then
only went on a
they only went on
holiday.
major holidays.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
every
No.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, we had to fight through snow to get to church because they weren't gonna let us sit home. I said,
they
you
ain't
know
fighting
what,
no
we
damn
can skip
snow.
one. Boy, no, let's go. I said,
Y'all don't think the Lord trying to tell us something?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Man.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, it was.
Mhm.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mine's
Beginning
was
of the
fun.
episode.
Mine was fun. It wasn't. I'm joking. Let me put. But so yeah, sort of like similar. Like I was sort of raised from a very young age in the church. Our first church was called Kimmerbrook Baptist. Shout out to Kimmerbrook Baptist.
Okay.
It's also named after the project because the project was called the Kimmerbrooks at the time. That's where my family from, the Brooks. But the church I remember always going to was sort of the second church, which was Elizabeth, and yeah, from a very young age, went there, had to sing in the choir. I actually originally was not singing in the choir, but every Thursday, the church van would come and pick up my siblings, or my mom would take them to choir rehearsal, and I would sit at home and I was bored. And I was like in second grade, I think, at the time. And I was like, well, I want to be with my brother and sisters.
Yeah.
And so they were like, okay, yeah. Mom was like, you sure you want to join the choir? I'm like, yeah. I think after the first 2 practices, I was like, I don't want to be in the choir. But she was like, too late. Like, so I was in there, and I sang in the choir. I sang in a youth choir, and I think it was mass choir. So I sang in those two. However, it was almost like we sang like every Sunday but one, because they were all like, oh, the men's chorus forgot to practice. Like, y'all didn't forget. Or like the sanctuary choir or something, like something always. So we were always, it would be me, my 3 siblings, and then also my homies in the church at that time. But we were all in that choir, and I think I went to church I didn't really stop going to church until like probably sophomore year of college. And
really?
Yeah, because for some reason, when I got older and I was graduating, my mom was like, oh, you still got to go to church when you come home. And I was like, huh? And I had to think about it. I was like, no, because when Kiara when she graduated, she had to do it when Aisha. So after a while, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going this Sunday. And I was able to slowly ease myself out of it. But yeah, like staying in the choir. When I got to high school, we sort of transitioned into the men's chorus. But luckily, around that time, my mom wasn't so heavy on us participating in the church, because she had a rule growing up: if you want to do extracurriculars at school, you had to do work in the church as well.
Girl, the way I'd be home.
So the way I was like, well, it's a good thing I don't want to do nothing in school. However, my brother played football, all the sports, my sister's in the club. So it was kind of like, she's kind of like, well, they doing it, so you got to go. And I was like, I can't get out of this to save my life. Yeah. Vacation Bible schools, the conferences, church camps. I hated them conferences with a passion. They were so long. You mean to tell me I got to be here from 9 to 2 just to come back at 6 and be here and they always happen. And I don't want to get too far I'm talking, but it just always annoyed me, because like Vacation Bible School was always like 2 weeks before school started.
So you never got a break. You literally was like from school to school.
And I was like, let me tell you, if you want me to do this, make me do it immediately once I get out for the summer from regular school. Don't try to add it toward the end. But yeah, so did all that. I also went to Bible camp. That wasn't through my church, but I went to Bible/horseback riding camp. That was very fun.
We had that too. Ours was we used to go out past, y'all probably aren't familiar, but like it's like our outskirts, like past Patasklo, Reynoldsburg. It used to be old Klan country. But very lovely lakes where we used to go like horseback riding. We would go into canoes. We had the paddle boats. We would have the big like pavilion with the church. We had the prayer garden. They had the Vacation Bible School, but then we would also do.
Did y'all stay over?
Yeah, we could stay over. They had a section over there that was like cabin, so to speak, but they were obviously co-ed. You couldn't sleep with nobody. We did, but there wasn't like they were separate.
Jezebel.
It was fun.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Camp Quantania, shout out to y'all. Y'all, they had some bomb food. When I tell you, I was. That food was so good at Camp Quantania. You know, but it was.
Ours was called Camp Adina.
Screaming, but it was very fun. I enjoyed it. So the reason why this was shocking to me was because this wasn't from my church, and also wasn't from like I wouldn't say they weren't Baptist, but it was a white church. And the food was hitting. Like, I was shocked. I was shocked. But the food was good. Waffles, the breakfast, like lunch, dinner. We did do swimming. We did ultimate tag, ultimate frisbee.
We
Loved
like field
it.
days.
Yes, I'm sorry. That's because that was at the camp. Now my church is black, but at the camp Quantania.
And it would happen during the summer, right?
Yeah, during the summer. It was very fun. I went and rode a horse. Yeah.
Like a mechanical bull.
Literally. But church was interesting, and
I am totally lying.
About?
Life?
It's not 18 years. Because
18 sounded, I was like, when you said it, I was like,
when I came back from Michigan and I finished out my degree, I still had to go to church. That was
my parents like
junior, senior in college.
You see,
I don't think my parents ever made me go to church when I
made you go
as an adult, like over the age of 18. No, No, absolutely not.
Shoot, they made me. My mom made me. I was scared.
Tony Bell, where are you at?
In the house.
I think
When she
because
died,
like
I
I moved out at 19, so I also was like pretty much. I literally think I stayed with my parents for like maybe 2-3 months, and then me and my dad fell out about the shower, and I literally moved the same day. Like, I swear to God, I said not sidetrack us on our topic at hand, but no, I literally walked into the shower. At the time, my dad is a VA vet, so like he was technically disabled, so wasn't allowed to work per his doctor's orders. Was just collecting his check. I was working 3 jobs at the time at 19. And I was rushing to work, about to be late. And you know, in the black household, someone throw their towel in there. That's like kind of like them stake and claim. Like, I'm in here. My dad's towel's in there. And I was like, hey, Pops, can I just like run in here real quick, throw a little water on my ass, and I'll be like right out the door. No, son, I'm already in here. I'll be right out. I was like, okay, Dad, maybe he'll be quick. That man proceeded to take another 20 to 25 minutes to even like cut the water on. And even then he like started shaving in the sink while the shower was like running. Something that just made me blindly angry with rage.
I understand.
And I literally was like, I'm late now and I'm already gonna get this occurrence. I'm gonna call off and move. And I literally like when he got in the shower, I'm literally on the phone with U-Haul. Like, what's the earliest I can book this? Can y'all like? And I didn't tell my family or anything like that. They just saw me like I went downstairs in my room and was doing what I did. My mom was at the hair salon, and then all my dad sees is the U-Haul pull up and thing. He's like, oh, they must be turning around. Baby, they pulled up in that driveway. I had my friend pick it up, and I was just start carrying stuff out to the U-Haul. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, moving. Like, goodbye.
I'm getting out of here.
My mom can't. He had to call my mom from the salon. She came in like half roller set in, half is in a press, already foaming up because it was the summer. Boo-hoo crying, like, what happened? I'm just like, what? It's too late now.
Good luck.
I got to go. So yeah, that was never really a thing for us.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I went. So,
I was supposed to go.
Yeah, I think my mom eventually got it. She was like, all right, he gonna go if he wants to.
Yeah.
Now there are some things like when I like, for instance, sometimes I come home. She's like, even recently, she'd be like, you going to church? And I'm like, oh no, I ain't going. She's like, And then after a while, she like, you gonna go to church one of these days. And lo and behold, I was there on Easter Sunday. So I have now become the Easter Christmas folks. I've become them now. But beforehand, I grew up, I was in that church. We skipped some Sundays, thankfully, because my mom had to work.
Thankfully.
But then that turned into, I called the van. I used to be like, bruh. Like,
Oh, y'all had a van too?
Yeah,
yes.
bruh. But yeah.
We only had to ride that once, but I hated it just because it was mostly only old folk on there that couldn't drive no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I did not need a hymn on the way to church along with there. No, thank you. But I guess it kind of segues into our whole thing of like, with you saying like, do you guys feel that you still have a active church? Like, are you guys a member anywhere? Like, are you on anybody's board, or do you still? What is really your relationship with like God and Christianity at this point? I mean, I'll just lead out with myself being that I definitely feel like I lean more towards being spiritual than I do religious. I'm gonna get stoned. It really is like
Not that.
No, it really is like damn a church to me at this point. I think the whole construct of organized religion is a sham and a scam, and
No, it's
it
true.
literally preys upon people that don't know how to critically think.
And here we go.
Clock it.
Buckle up.
Clock
But
it.
yeah, I feel like for the thing. So for me, that was my biggest part of the reason why I left church, because I was always that kid that asked questions like, so if Adam and Eve were the only people that was there, and then they had sons. Oh, they used to be hot. Ooh. They had sons.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the sons having? Like, where'd the girls come from? Where'd they wives go? Oh, the Lord brought them out of the desert. But he had to take Eve out of Adam's rib when he could have just had some lady walk out the desert the whole time.
This is incest.
Okay.
Somebody was siblings, and nobody wanted to address that question, especially in the early books of the Bible. I'm like, y'all are cousins. You follow this family tree. And again, I was good at the Bible Bowl. When I would do the little thing, I'm like, wait, Ruth is the third sister of whom? They were sisters, and
they were sisters.
And they were
do y'all know
Alberstein.
Y'all know that book of the Bible? Well, y'all probably don't even know this story. A lot of people don't know it. It's
I don't know. Book of that Bible.
Okay. Well, y'all know being gay about Sodom and Gomorrah, like where that all came from.
Yeah, sure.
Gotcha. So Sodom and Gomorrah were basically two cities that were secular, to say the speak. They was basically that. And the way the Bible tells us, the guy was not pleased with those cities. They lived a debaucherous life, yada, 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 boom. So there was a story that were basically angels that came down to visit Lot's brother, and they were chilling at the house. And then basically the village people came up to the thing and was like, hey.
I've heard this. Actually, my mom talked about them.
Them two little twinks y'all got in there kind of nice. And old boy's just like, what twinks? I have no twinks in here. And he was like, we saw them walk in. And he's like, okay, bet, you got me. How about this? Instead of, please don't rape my guest. Mm-hmm. But what I do got is my 2 virgin daughters. I'd be more than willing to offer, just keep my guests safe. You know, they're new here, but you can take one of my children. They denied the offer. We're like, that's great, but we want a little bussy. We don't want them. I said, yo, look at that. It's a butt.
I love how he telling this story.
Because this is not the King James Version. In layman's terms. They wanted hoe. And then they were going back and forth. The 2 angels basically came out, blinded the village people right there temporarily. They basically got Lot and his 2 daughters was like, y'all got to run to the hills. Don't look back. God's about to send comets and fire and blow this whole place up. If you look back, it's not going to be good for you. So Lot, his wife, his 2 daughters, booking it over to the mountain that I guess was very close to the city. I'm not real sure. But they're making their way. Lot's wife looks back like, damn, my house. Immediately turned into a pillar of salt. Lot and his daughters hearing her just crumple up into like basically Medusa, don't look for it. They just keep on booking it. They like, we go into this cave. They get there, and I don't know why this was his daughter's like top thought. They were like, well, damn, everybody in the city dead. How are we gonna have kids now? So then they get their dad drunk, both screw him, so that they're able to have children and continue the family line.
They wanted to have kids that bad.
Yes.
Like, you literally like another village will pop up, y'all. Calm down. Just wait.
And when I would address them like, y'all don't think that's effed up? They would literally look at me like, well, I mean, it was different times.
The pillar of salt is where I would always ask a question like, we can't do that. So like,
no, we can't do that.
We can't turn into a pillar of salt. We could die, but pillar of salt, even Medusa, what do you mean? What's going on?
An icon.
The whole book is a bunch of fairy tales, like, and it's great.
If this happens, what's the
lesson?
Not the lesson, but what is the preoccupation with calling everything witchcraft when there was so much
burning bush, whole ocean being split in half?
And that's why they used to pop me in my mouth, but I never ever got it.
A miracle is a miracle. Don't
I
matter
know the
who
stories,
do it.
I know the thing. But I'm the one who asks questions. It doesn't make sense to me.
Real.
Critically
pillar of
thinking.
what?
Critical thinking.
Truly. I mean, they used to get mad at me because I would ask questions. And the one question I had to ask, we were talking about, I
should have worn longer
we were
socks.
talking about something. Then we were talking about like, Adam and Eve, all that. And one of the kids that was like my age, one of my peers brought up, they was like, well, in science class, we learned about like, evolution. And they low-key got a little upset. And I was like, I said, there's scientific like evidence that shows like, because I was backing them up. And the person got mad. She was like, no, when you come in here, you believe in God, you believe in Adam, da-da-da-da-da. And basically was like, if you got to believe that for science, then you write that down. And I said, I just don't think that's right. Because clearly, I said, if God is the more all-powerful, all-being that you say, clearly he gave somebody the knowledge to help them discover this, right? Like, why isn't that a thing?
We discover math, science,
like when I say they were mad, and they used to look at me, and I would always go like, I would always talk to my mom. I'd be like, you see, this is what's not clicking for me. And she'd be like, well, all right, it's not clicking for her. She was like, and she would always she was always good at being like, okay, so in the Bible, it says boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. Now in history, evolution, boom, boom, boom. She was like, she always like, believe in what you want to believe in. Both can be true. You can think none of them are true.
Right.
And I was thankful for that. Now there were some things she'd be like, don't say that. Yeah. But there's a lot of things that she would be like, literally, there are a lot of things that she would be like, yeah, no, he could say it because she always wanted us to be outspoken.
And I think that's why the Christianity relies so heavily on people relying on faith or just, his ways are not our ways because, and again, maybe it's ADHD, maybe it's a little bit of the undiagnosed autism. You got to make it make sense to me. I
No,
need
it's
to know
true.
why this is happening. Because there's no way you can tell me that this church member or this elder is diddling people in the back, but
Oh.
I'm going to hell first because I like boys. That's insane.
Clock it.
That's insane.
Clock it.
Whack 'em.
You're not going to
'em.
tell me that I have a like VIP express lane ticket to hell, but he on a slow track. Because I've seen a blind eye
Slow
turn
track.
to a lot of
Yeah.
predators, if we're just going to call them out what they are, in the church that rely on the guise of either their title or their privilege, to where a lot of them don't get called out about it because you don't call out an elder, you don't call out a pastor, you don't call out
I'll call anybody.
He's been serving on the board X amount of years.
Predators, whores, drug dealers, murderers,
Embezzlers.
violent.
I was a whore.
We literally
scammers.
just had somebody that was running I told you I was in the Pathfinders.
Yeah.
He just got busted not even 3 weeks ago in a prostitution ring.
It's not surprising.
Well,
It's
I was a
not
whore
surprised.
at
I
one
wasn't
point.
surprised, but let other folk tell it.
I'm more spiritual as well.
Mm.
Organized religion is not. I hate to say it. I hope it don't sound ridiculous. It's never really been my thing.
That's real.
Even as a kid, I just I'm going because y'all telling me to. But
Real.
I literally told my mom, I said, as soon as I'm able to not come here and you can't force me, I'm going to make the swift decision to
I
do
could
so.
not wait.
And she said, "Oh, okay." I said, "I really want you to know." And she said, "You don't play. You don't be playing around, so I know you're serious." I said, "Exactly. You don't ever need to see or
You ain't gotta
ask
worry
me
about
to come back
me.
here.
You do not have to worry about me.
Only time I'm coming back here is if y'all doing a concert.
Because you like music, yeah.
I love music, love gospel music,
Right.
but I'm more so spiritual, more so." This is gonna sound bad as well. Oh, I'm gonna say it anyways.
Yeah.
I take from things that
Truly.
work for me.
That's real.
Little
If I need to
Buddhism
do a
over
little bit-
here,
Little doom, little
witchcraft this way here, little hoodoo, like
little hoodoo, little voodoo. If this makes sense, this
Well, yes.
Buddhism,
because I don't need
whatever.
I don't need rules for my connection to a higher power. I won't even say God or whoever, but I definitely feel like there's somebody in some way pulling
Absolutely.
a string or two.
Absolutely.
Too much shit has worked out in my life
Absolutely.
seamlessly for me not to be like, okay, somebody watching out.
Somebody's definitely controlling my sim character right now.
calling
Somebody
my
is
name.
controlling my dreams right now.
Oh,
Because them been lately.
I've had
I
some
would dream
wild
something. I'm
dreams
like,
too.
oh, what? That doesn't even make sense.
You're like, yes,
Next
it does.
week, boom. So I started when I dream. I'm like, oh, okay, here it comes. I just
Tap
don't know
in.
who it's gonna come from, where it's gonna come from. But yeah. And even when people
Yeah.
be like, oh, the Christians love this. Oh, you saying the
Visions.
universe? That's something evil. But I said, oh,
Is
It's still
God-
God.
He's not.
Is
he
God
can't be
not
doing-
all knowing and ambivalent? Is he not everywhere?
He is
Wouldn't
the
he be the
universe.
universe? Is
You
he not in
know-
all of us? Are we not his
I
children?
use those interchangeably. He is
Boom,
the
boom.
universe.
She is the universe.
If you, my dad used to get so mad when I say Big Bang Theory. Don't say that. I said,
thought
if
you
you
said
believe
Big
that
Bang
God
Theory
created
for a
the
second.
entire thing, then he created the universe as well. So if
Yeah.
I say the universe, I'm saying him.
my whole thing is just like, and again,
Mhm.
it's when you really make them like, no, but answer this.
They can't.
They can't.
They cannot.
They genuinely can't. It's just like, okay,
Oh, the Bible.
It gets very much.
you'll find out on Judgment Day. So will you, babes.
It reminds me of
We both not.
what's
So-
it called? The Black China Man. We said she was like, because I can get evicted, and her friend be like, how you gonna get evicted? You own a place
house.
because it's called you can. Like that's literally how they are.
That's literally a lot of their logic with stuff like, because Jesus said so, and it's like,
Okay,
Yeah.
he told
Okay.
you.
I'm like the pro-life situation. Oh, I used to argue with my dad all the time growing up.
I was
just
always
realized that.
pro-choice.
But he was like, oh, pro-life because of the Bible. I said, and that's your right. You
I
or
don't
your
believe
wife
in
never
murder.
have
I
to get
do.
one.
I
You
do.
never have to get one.
You don't have that issue.
But you cannot sit up in a state house, make laws and policies
Mhm.
based
Mhm.
on what you heard in church. I've
No, it's
never really
true.
understood why that's allowed. And they say, oh, well, the Bible. I said,
separation of
isn't it
church
a
and state.
separation?
Like
What's going
Shout
on?
out to Steph Curry's pastor. He actually just called them out about that. He was like, "Don't tell me it's my Christian or my religious right to vote. Like, keep that shit out of here." Basically,
literally.
like,
No,
these are
seriously.
two separate entities. Like,
two different things.
I'm gonna
Because
make a
God
law
gonna get
because-
all y'all.
Because I go to church. Okay, and what if somebody in the higher power of the government, they were mostly
Catholic,
Muslim, something, and they say, "Oh, this is not allowed anymore," and you like, "What? Oh,
This is-
hell
Okay,
no.
but then
this is
that-
no longer
that's-
haram. Like we're not gonna like
exactly."
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing. And I always say this. It's always okay when it's Christianity,
No,
but let
literally.
another religion come up and
But
be like,
heaven
we
forbid you have
doing
to
this.
respect someone else's
Now it's an
religion.
issue.
Ooh.
I mean, you saw how they were acting up when someone had to, you know how you do the swear of the Bible and they swore on the Quran? They were pissed. They were like, how are they? You have to. They was like, no, it's
whatever book you want to read.
And they were like, oh, well, I didn't know that. Well, of course you didn't know that.
Because who was that one politician? She's like a queer liberal one. She's actually a ditz, but she very liberal leaning, isn't Christian or anything like that. And I forgot what she swore on, but it was like basically a glorified comic book, and no one batted an eye.
Me.
To storm. I play.
But
Wakanda.
I just feel like, again, for me, a big thing is just the contradiction and all the different. There's just so many things to where, like, if you cannot tell me how this happens, or at least at minimum, if you don't know, be like, you know what, we don't know the answer. I hated what was finally just one of the things that pushed me, and y'all can also feel free what pushed y'all. Pushed me away from the church was a combination of how they treated me once I officially came out, as being somebody who, as I just stated, was super ingrained to all facets of the church. Y'all found out I like boys, and now suddenly I can't serve on a blood drive.
Get that pack
I'll
out
never
of here.
forget when I was about to donate.
That's what they said.
No, borderline.
That's literally
I
what
was
they
about to
said.
donate, and one of the church mothers took it upon herself to walk her happy ass over and said, like, he can't donate. I hadn't came out officially yet, and it's me and the nurse, and the lady nurse is like, why? Like, have you not eaten or anything? She's like, no, he's a homosexual.
Oh, she used the
Yeah.
word.
And mind you, she's like
That's
literally
trauma. I'm
poised over my arm
No,
to poke me.
it is.
And I think we all remember that as like young queer men of being like how alarming and just like,
Oh,
God,
yeah.
they know, like type of deal. So like I'm finding
that
that out
never
in
happened.
the
They didn't know
church.
me.
It didn't happen to me either.
I didn't know how much it was going to spread. Was this? Well, you know, some of us in the closet a little bit longer than others.
I know what you mean, though.
But yeah, no, it was just the fact that
disgusting.
yeah, and then I was panicking because I'm just like, my mom and them are literally in the sanctuary room. I'm like, you gonna run over there and tell them? They knew, but I knew how at the time when I first came out, my mom and my dad were still into the church, that they were just kind of like, my sexuality was like the elephant in the room. Like they kind of just looked at it as like, okay, we know, but like,
Shut up about it.
Shut up
Oh,
about it.
absolutely.
do not bring up like. I know that everybody's talking about their boyfriend, but like you can't chime into this conversation. And no, they can't come to church with you, which always bothered me too. I'm just like, so you don't want them saved?
No,
They're like, well, we don't want those spirits to hop
Well, see,
about.
mine was different.
Huh?
Mine was different.
No, mine was bad.
You used to date outside the church? Like outside the church community?
Yeah, remember I grew up Seventh-day Adventist. It was very culty.
I ain't date nobody.
You were the only gay person in there?
Nah, open.
Open. Not fighting it.
You never dated the people who weren't out though?
You said what?
You never dated the people who were not out?
In the church? No, we said in our last episode I don't like church queens. I've never liked them.
Oh, you've never? Oh.
One, because it's like as soon as they feel like their tea's about to get spilled, they will throw you underneath the bus.
Or kill you.
T.
Yeah,
No, literally.
Yeah, perhaps.
I saw that episode of the first 48 hours, which brings it to an. Oh, I can't wait till we get to that.
Yes. Had I probably dealt with some of the older men in the church that were like closeted queers, that might have been an opportunity that could have occurred to me because they had families and different positions in the church that were a little bit more likely to.
Good old.
Yeah, there were a little bit.
Not that.
Hello.
He said, wait, you got it.
So it was just. Yeah, it was just the contradictions and then just the fact of like when I came out, how nasty people became.
Oh, yeah.
Just immediately, just viscerally nasty to me. And I just kind of was just like, this doesn't feel Christ-like. This doesn't feel like the fruit of the Spirit. So I just was like, yeah, I feel like I can be a better person.
Yeah.
Damn a Christian. Outside of this place. Because every time I come in here, I don't feel wanted. All the positions that normally I was welcome into, now I can't. I was no longer allowed to be a part of Vacation Bible School because they were concerned about me influencing the children, like being gay is COVID.
Oh, they believe it is.
They definitely do.
They do.
They think those demons can jump from spirit to spirit.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow. Oogly boogly, bitch.
I said, is that the spirit of adultery jumped on you?
No, I guess I was never I guess I could say I'm spiritual. I could say I'm religious, but my mom always told me, she was like, no matter what them folks at that church say, no matter what the church do, have your own relationship with God. And that's sort of how I've always been. Like, I believe in God. I have my own relationship with him, but I also believe in the universe. I believe astrology. I believe all that stuff work together, in my opinion. I think it all works together. But sort of forced me out of the church. And it was a very early, honestly, I had to be probably about 8 or 9.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I knew it was like, this is not for me. Was when I used to watch how they would treat my mother and my sister and some of my sisters, and it wasn't like they were like just outright nasty or mean, but
slut shaming basically.
It wasn't even that. It was just that like so many people were just like so like. They would like low key try to be disrespectful or dismissive of her or whatever, and then be like, "Oh, this is hi," and be talking to me. I'm like, "Bitch, you don't like my mama. I don't like you. The fuck?" Like,
but where do you think that stemmed from? Like, what do you think they didn't like?
I honestly, my mom. She for some reason. My mom is often like me. I always say I'm basically her, where she's kind of like reserved or whatever. She's very nice when she meets you. She says hi, all of that. She'll talk to you, you know. And even I would say, even though she's gotten older, she's even more like she can make conversation with anybody. Right. But she's always been like the more reserved, like. I wouldn't say the more reserved, but she was always like, hi, how are y'all? Boom, boom, boom. And she was always nice. Yeah. But then I would literally see how like certain people would look at her or like different things they would say. And they wouldn't be like outright nasty, and they would never say it to her. Oh no, but you know, the streets talk, so we'll find out. And my mom was also never somebody who would be like scared or anything, so she would be like, "Oh, I told that bitch to her face, I don't care."
What would that be a messy
like,
for?
Literally, but. Seeing that always like I was like, I don't think this is right. So it was like seeing that versus a combination of like how they did treat other people, like if they weren't like, if you didn't come in with like the best of clothes, or if you were like on the straight and narrow, like things like that. I saw that and that bothered me a lot. So I was like, yeah, this is not for me. And I was out. I was just like, I don't think I really need to be here. Like, this isn't one, it's not that fun.
It's not fun.
It's honestly, sometimes when y'all sing it, I would like for y'all to be quiet because y'all being loud and I have a headache now. But
that's why
literally, yeah, it was literally just that. And sometimes I would say not even just my mom, but also like my sisters. Like, I don't know, like they would just be nasty to them or whatever. And like, it was always like nice, nasty. And the crazy thing was like, my mom sang in a choir and she always did solos. And so I always called her my godmom. I don't know if she was my godmother. I know she was my brother's godmother. But she, her name was Yvette. Rest in peace. Love ya. She and my mom were best friends. They were like this. And she was a minister. So anytime she preached, she had my mom sing. And it was like, whether she did it at our church or they went and did a visiting at another church, they would do that. And I would always see, they would walk up to her and run up to her like, oh my God, you preached that word so good. You da-da-da-da-da-da. And they would do it. And like, as they would do it, they would come up because her and my mom were like always together. My mom would be like, oh, hi. They would completely dismiss her. And my mom would be like, and my mom was very much like me, but she'd be like, noted. And they would do that. And then she'd be like, oh, well, this is, she's like, this is my best friend. This is Yo-Yo, da-da-da-da-da. And they'd be like, hi. My mom would be like, hi. Like, you better hope I don't bust you in your face right now. But
in the name of God,
but after seeing that, I was like, it was very cliquey. The church is very cliquey. People don't want to talk about it, but they're cliquey and they nasty.
The deaconesses are mean girls.
Yeah, and that was another thing. It was a lot of mean girls in the church, and not just with the women. Not just with the women.
The men be the mean girls.
They be mean girls too. Like, and so I guess seeing that and my mom basically being like,
because have you ever peeped into a bunch of pastors kikiing together?
Listen, and like the way they be
sissies.
Boom. Let me not say not all y'all, but a lot of y'all. But yeah, so once I peeped that, I was like, bye. Like, I'm good to go. I don't have to.
Now, do you feel that, and I think this is something for me that I'm also actually very curious to hear like audience responses about it too. Do you feel as a gay man or anyone that is within the queer experience here's the main response I receive from people that I'm just always just like, how are you gay but you love the Lord? Like how those, like, how are you in them people's church?
You ask people that?
Huh?
You ask people that?
To their face? Yes. A few times. Just more so just like, how do you walk into somebody's church where they quite literally think you're an abomination every week?
Oh, you're saying how people go to church?
How I do that?
Church, yeah. Like, the whole having a relationship with God still, because I don't believe God hates gay people at all. I feel like Christians do. And that's based on the book that they basically have created through a game of telephone over the last couple.
With white men.
The fun fact, the guy that wrote the King James Version also wrote the Book of Satan. Like he was working on both those projects like the same time. Same time. So, forgive me for not, immediately thinking that his version is the best. But nonetheless, it does always bother me. And they're just like, you get the ones that be like, I go to denominational or I go, which is still Christian, but whatever. I think for me, that's always something that I've kind of struggled with understanding. Like, how are you in them people's church and they quite literally are calling you a faggot as soon as you get behind the last pew?
Ooh, well, the way I always say it as, you're not saying it to my face, and who gonna whip my ass?
Let them tell it Jesus.
Well,
and he not either. I'm so sorry. He didn't
sort of the kind of thing that kind of, I wouldn't say forced me out of the church. Probably, this is gonna sound bad too. Maybe I was never really checked in.
You're so worried about sounding bad.
That's me. It was very easy to leave. You didn't have to check.
Because I didn't want to be there in the first place.
And that is why I don't really there's something always off.
Why
about
are you
people.
choosing your words so much? Like,
I get it.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Let this one tell it. I am Whitney Houston with no media training. So I'm trying to. But there's something very off about the church gays who are so deeply ingrained in ministry. Because it's almost kind of like you're this way over here with these people, and that gives me space. It gives me inauthentic.
Shirley Caesar. I'm joking. That's alleged.
Allegedly. But I let them have it. I'm not going to try to argue with them. I don't argue with church people anymore.
Because they'll be like, see you in hell, bitch.
And I'd be like, I'll see you there too.
Even then, like we said earlier, you can give them facts and they're going to give you, verse,
have faith.
And it's kind of like, no, what I just said was what it was. I'll never forget, like, the one that really irritated me was when I took, what did I take? Origins of Religion. I think it was in college.
I was like, oh,
freak. Hey, I would take that class too. But I took Origin of Religion and I was coming home excited to tell everybody, this is what Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, all that stuff. Rastafari, whatever that thing is. But everybody was just like, you switching religions, you don't like Jesus anymore. I said, y'all
becoming more knowledgeable about other religions. And that was the thing too.
About it.
That was the thing too with me when I left the church. I literally went on a journey, soul searching, whatever. I was like, well, shit, I don't always been told that this is the one true way in the life. I'm still here.
We be just jumping.
Sorry, three people with potential ADHD on the podcast. But yeah, no, I felt like when I left the church, I literally did the same thing. I literally researched all different types of religions: Buddhism, Hinduism, agnostic, Church of Satan. Like I did everything. I did because I'm like,
I know that's right, Sabrina.
Y'all told me that they these wooga booga people that over here praying the pentagram stars and the witchcraft.
That's what
actually read them people's rules. I agree with a lot more of them than I do a lot of the Christian ones.
With voodoo.
They be voodoo too. Although, again, Robbiey, I think you can say the explanation. What's the difference between voodoo and Hulu?
Hulu? That's a streaming service.
He said hoodoo.
But hoodoo and voodoo.
Voodoo is a religion. Hoodoo is a practice. Boom. They are not the same thing.
And hoodoo has Christian roots. So, like, again, I'm somebody that practices hoodoo. And part of the reason I had an affinity for it was because I had such deep church roots that I didn't quite really know how to make my connection with the my spiritual self and completely leave that to the wayside. Because because I was gonna ask y'all this too. Do y'all ever find yourself still from time to time praying?
Oh yeah, no, I always pray. I still pray. Yeah.
Like over your food, or just like talking about like, I'll be honest, I tend to fall on this knee a little harder when times is tough. And
He said, you need me now, huh?
I do. And imagine, I start to pray like, I be like, Lord, I know this connection probably a little shaky. Knocking the dust off the main line. Like,
They said I can call you whenever I need you.
And
baby.
I need you now, so
I need you.
hello.
I do be saying thank you a lot though.
I do say thank you when stuff's going good. I am good. Just send a good like, thank you, universe.
Because you know I love to say Lord, mercy,
Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
One of my friends got on me on Instagram the other day saying this. Say, you sure do say Lord or Jesus? Like, I'm churchy down. Churchy down.
Absolutely.
I'm not really churchy down, but
absolutely.
I believe in it. I pray a little.
It's honestly bad. It's so bad. It's so into my bones that I actually get a little irritated about it sometimes.
I never get irritated, especially like I will sing any song, take it to church.
Yeah.
Okay, tweet.
Yeah.
It's always I don't know, and then just finding people who either are in the church or used to be in the church and can speak.
It is a fun connection to have with people.
It is.
I have,
Sometimes. That means
I have actually a
sometimes.
peer that follows on Instagram. We both grew up in the church. Shout out to Kyra. We both end up being part of the LGBT. We both ended up pretty much leaving the church. We both pretty much are like, them people crazy.
Very.
But it's fun to connect on a thing. It was just like, girl, remember when we was at church 4-5 days a week, in and out? Remember we was talking about the gay people? Now look at us.
Well,
y'all brought up something that y'all was talking about, like how things are like learning about new religions and different things like that. And the one that always felt to me, I remember in 7th grade in my history class, actually, we learned about like the different religions. We learned about like Judaism. We learned about Christianity. We learned about Islam.
Venice is very close to
like,
Judaism, if y'all not familiar. But
yeah, and that's what they were saying. But I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, Judaism and Christianity are literally like this. They just they differ.
They're both Abrahamic religions.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
yes.
differ by like
What's the
the
other one?
slightest thing. Is it
The other
Islam?
one's gonna be.
Is it Islam?
Yeah, Islam.
Islam. Yeah, all of they because they.
Why I keep doing
We
that?
going to Islam?
Girl, we going to Islam. But yeah, like they are all like highly like they're very connected and they're very similar. So that's why when I was learning that, I remember I was telling like my family about it. They was like, "Oh yeah," they was like, "Yeah, but you know we Christians, so da 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 da." And in my head, I was like, "Yeah,
gives a
but
shit?
in my head, I'm like, yeah, we Christian, but like clearly these." It was
the
given
same story.
Yeah, it was given like same story, just told by different people. And like they changed a little bit of things, and I was
Same
like, okay,
script,
here we
different
are.
Cast.
You
Whitney
know.
Houston, Deborah Cox.
A hit.
But yeah, no, that's a little. That's my biggest thing with my research that I found.
You got it.
You know, you said Deborah Cox, and I had just seen her on TikTok.
Me too.
singing that one song. Is it gonna be yes or no? No. Hell no. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Was that her too?
Not.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely
not. And
And that's the thing with a lot of these religions, like no shade, they are literally selling the exact same story. The main bones of all of them are be a good person, do unto others as you want to be done to. Don't lie, don't steal, don't hurt others.
Don't kill.
And I agreed with all those things when I was a practicing Christian. It's all the little nitty gritty petty shit like women weren't allowed to preach at my church until well into my teens. And even when they did,
Preach at your church? They weren't allowed to even just like
on the pulpit? No, not to lead a service. And when they did, I have seen more than on one occasion women taken off the church that had full sermons prepared. That skirt's not knee length. It's not actually even calf length. You need to go. Are you wearing earrings? You must leave. They couldn't wear jewelry. They couldn't wear heels. Like you could do a little kitten wedge. But
they couldn't wear heels.
Oh no!
Oh, my mom would never survive because she stayed in a 6-inch.
It was deemed as immodest, or that you were drawing attention to people would get distracted.
Coddling men act like they can't.
Like
acting like men have no self-control.
Say, I can't help that. I'm a bad bitch. Like
put the onus on women.
God gave me this body. Like
yes, my pastor. It was Ron Fowler, but rest easy. It was
the pastor my church is no more.
Diane Swoop. So she was the first.
Oh, y'all had an actual female pastor leading.
Yes.
Oh,
she was the pastor of the church. And it was a big uproar in Akron when she took over. So
Yeah,
That's
it would
wild.
have rose.
So
hell.
I was just like,
Why do y'all care so
What-
bad?
the message is the message. Like,
What?
yeah.
What is going on? But I know, like, even on TikTok, I've seen whoever, they're shutting down Dollar Tree. They really is.
I love her.
She can't wear pants.
her. She
The
can't.
lady
No,
that says that?
yeah, she can't wear pants.
She cannot wear pants. That's why she's always in a skirt. And
I'm trying to tell you,
that's
that's like Seventh-day Adventist. When I said they had them
get
ladies
that.
in floor length denim skirts in the middle of summer.
What's her
and they do
name?
be Ariana.
I love you, girl. You be singing, and you're funny as hell. I love
I
you.
just found out she can sing. She can
Singing
sing.
her ass off, but I love her.
Seventh-day Adventist. That's why I said like I got out of it. I'm just like, oh, I was in a cult. We had to honor the Sabbath. So y'all know the fourth commandment where it's like honor the Sabbath, remember the Sabbath of the day that God. 6 days shall thou labor and do all
Sunday?
their work. What day of the week does a week start on?
Sabbath.
So Saturday, you talk about Saturday?
That's why it's literally called Sabado in Spanish, like Sabbath.
Sabado.
Sabado.
Yeah, because it comes from the previous. I can't do that. No, but yeah, that's basically we had to only we went to church on Saturday. Yeah, because it
Like had a sermon church.
correct, and we
See,
only
yeah,
had
that's-
one. That was another thing I didn't know.
Like Jewish people go to church on Saturday too.
That's why I said it's so similar to Judaism. It's literally like if you mash Judaism and Baptist. So like we didn't eat pork, we didn't eat shellfish. We went to the whole book of Leviticus. We had to honor the Sabbath. So that means
way
that
we ate pork
when
and
I tell you,
My church ain't getting my mom.
our oven had a Sabbath setting to where when I say you couldn't cut that bitch on, like you could go 400 bake, whatever, would not, from Friday when the sun set till Saturday when the sunset, she was off. She would not go past like 110 degrees because you were allowed to warm up your food, but you couldn't cook it because that was work and you couldn't work on the Sabbath. I knew people that wouldn't drive to church. I knew people that wouldn't iron their clothes. I knew people, you had to do all your stuff prior to I was in a cult. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Work, girl. I'm glad you got saved.
Listen,
He's gonna be drinking Kool-Aid in a second.
Fish and spaghetti.
You must have been at
in the
Mary Church.
In the church kitchen.
borderline.
Ain't that lady?
Yeah,
Mary
borderline. It was
from-
very.
Oh, I would have been pissed off.
We used to try to play basketball at church, and the elders would yell at us, and we'd be like, "Oh, we're doing Bible Bowl. For every right question, you have to shoot a shot," and that's how we would get around it. But like,
Y'all
yeah,
couldn't have fun either.
if it didn't believe, if it didn't, we weren't allowed to watch TV that didn't pertain to something related to God. So like National Geographic, Animal Planet, during
Disney
those,
Channel.
where the Lord in that? Where's the Lord?
There's no Lord
You
in
didn't
that.
watch any of Disney Channel growing up?
Not during Sabbath, no.
Oh, during Sabbath.
During
okay,
Sabbath,
okay.
we was on lockdown during that 24 hours. I'm trying to tell
Oh,
you.
okay.
I'm like,
Because I remember we used to be, we hated the summertime because sunset later in the summertime we'd be 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We're like, God, please, like free us. Wintertime out there. We will shut down by 5. We'd be like,
Oh,
That's insane,
something.
but I hate that for you. I truly do. I would not have survived.
Hey, I would.
I mean, I wouldn't want to go back
never see my
either.
face.
I mean, I think I was just over it. I just knew. I was like, I believe in God, and that is enough for me. I believe in Him. I pray when I need to. Honestly, I pray every day. Me and him have a conversation. I'm like, how are
great.
you? How are you doing? It's very weird. So I never thought I would be that person.
Say, how are you doing?
Yeah, I told my mom, she's like, you be asking him questions. I said, yeah, because I'm always asking him stuff. I figure I could, if I'm asking him
You don't
like,
want
hey,
to be
could you help me this?
one-sided,
Yeah,
yeah.
like talk back.
Has it been a busy week for you?
Yeah, and sometimes like he don't really talk back though. I might get a dream or something. I'm like, okay, I guess you finally said something.
Or a
But,
sign. I actually
yeah.
signs all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do that. But like, I just felt like because for instance, my church changed. We had two pastors. Rest in peace, Pastor Clean Scale. But then and that was still when I was like young.
I don't know y'all's pastor's name.
And then we have Pastor Hurt now, who icon.
Did you know
But
we weren't allowed. How long did y'all's pastors stay on? Like, how long was their tenure?
till they died.
Right.
No, it was
Or they just were
Like said
had
that-
health
yeah.
issues that they couldn't
no,
preach
it was a
anymore.
rule. We rotated them out like presidents. I swear to God, it was like
Every 4 years.
no one was more than 4 years.
Oh
Every-
my!
that
And they
is
had to
insane.
fight for 4 years,
Serious.
if not 2. There was sometimes we'd have them for a year. Next person, because they never wanted us to get stagnant. They never wanted one pastor to get too much power. So they were like, "Oh no, y'all gotta go." But they would. Well, just like sometimes
like a big following.
Following. Less
I ain't
people,
want no Joel Osteen.
less people willing to go against them. Things like that. They couldn't make too many. They didn't want you to get so into the church that people connected you with only being with that church. So they would even if it was something as simple as like our Columbus pastor would go to Dayton and our Dayton one would go to Toledo. Like they'd rotate.
Oh yeah, no, we had that. We full gospel now. I know that they made
As
that.
opposed to what before?
So apparently we were Baptists, but I don't know what we were before. We were just Baptists, I'm guessing. And I guess now we're full gospel. So now like the church, they like embrace the entire Bible, both like the Old Testament, New Testament, all that.
Wasn't doing that before?
See, that's what they confused. I was like, wasn't y'all hoes already doing that?
I thought it was Catholic that only did the New Testament.
Child, I couldn't tell you, but now they embrace both. And I said, well, congratulations, happy birthday. I mean, it's still the same over here. But now my mom be like, make sure you tell them you full gospel. I'll be like, okay.
That's so
like, okay.
And it's crazy how like all the different like sects have different wording for the same thing. Like we always had the full Bible, and because maybe y'all can explain it to me. What's the difference between like Kojic, Baptist, and Pentecostal? Because I know some be hollering, some just be loud.
Kojic. So I'll tell you, Kojic.
That's Church of God in Christ.
Yes. Them niggas think they everything and more, and they think they are God's chosen children.
Every time I say I don't like church queens, it's usually
it's
from there.
Literally. Hate to break it to you. But yes, you're not coding. Okay, good.
Paper girl.
But I cannot. Them folks who be Kojic, I'd be like, get away from me with this. Get away from me with this.
Go, wig.
Go, literally.
Bye, wig.
Like they be like they just know that they just think they, and it's just be annoying because they just think they the shit.
To the nines,
and I'd be like, they just be thinking they the shit. I'm like, you gonna bust hell wide open right along with me, and you don't even know.
It's so crazy how we gonna be in the same VIP section.
Only difference is I'm gonna have the Wi-Fi password and you're not. Good luck.
Dial
but
up.
yeah. And then Pentecostal, I really don't know what they do. I know they sing
different denominations.
I know they sing because I think the one lady at my church, she was Pentecostal at one point, but her voice, what's the word Pentecostal?
You know you're right.
Do I?
Nope.
But her voice, like the way she was singing, they were like, oh, well, that's how they sing at that church. Because it was very
style of singing.
It was a styling.
Yes,
so I was like, I said, well, she can sing her ass off. So I was like, do your big one. You got this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like our church was more like him heavy. I feel like other churches are a little bit more.
I can't stand him.
I hated him.
I hated him. I hated him.
Oh, I love him.
I hate loud church music.
It's just
I hate
we couldn't sing those type of
works.
You see how you was like there was a beat to that? No.
Oh, y'all did.
Like
Y'all, you know what it reminded me of? Because,
I'm scared every Sunday.
Listen, because I did also, at one point in high school, I went to this thing called Celebrate. That was at like this Catholic church or whatever. It was with my friends. And I got him. I was like, sure, I'll do it. Because they would come back and it was weird because all like the pop. Okay, let me put that. I went to a white high school, y'all. So it was very much like Euphoria. But not much like you, but 90210, Degrassi
was not like my high school.
Degrassi, 90210, Euphoria. They was doing drugs and stuff at that school. Yeah, we had that.
Oh, absolutely.
But the popular kids who were like on the football team, sports, all that.
Maybe I was a nerd because we was studying.
They used to bring the dogs in and run up and down people's things.
yes, I was studying too. I was out there doing it with them, but they was doing it.
That's how far removed I was.
Yeah, I wasn't doing no meth or coke with them or nothing like that.
I didn't even talk. I hang up with like 4 people.
And the most I knew as a senior, they would be doing that. I said, you are 14 years
old. The most I would know about is like them being on Adderall and stuff. And even then I was like, oh my God.
That's a baby drug to them.
Truly.
That is
literally, they didn't
truly.
to them.
But
I gagged when I said, oh.
Yeah, they get down. They don't play.
You're a team captain. I'm not going to say nothing, but you better slow down before you die.
Yeah, literally. But like, it was just very, I don't know, the popular kids and stuff, they would always go to the thing called Celebrate. So it was just.
What is Celebrate?
So it was this thing you go and you basically like, how do I explain? We went and we basically like, tried to build our bond closer with God. But you also you learn more about each other, and people give testimonies about why they when they knew God was in their life, when they knew they were like they had to turn to God, different things like that. So So yeah,
I hated it too.
I hated it so much.
I'd be like,
So they were doing that. So we went.
I passed my test this week. Like,
so I went and like we literally stayed. Like, it was like a weekend. Like we went Friday night. We stayed all Friday night. We did all day Saturday. We did half a Sunday, and then we came home. It was at It was like at a Catholic church. Again, Catholic. I'm not Catholic. I'm Baptist. It was basically a lock-in, but not with the fun. It was a lock-in, but not the fun lock-in. Oh. Boom. So I went, and I'll never forget two things that happened. One, well, actually three. One, I'll never forget the father, the priest there, I forget his name. I think he passed away. I wasn't a big fan of him anyway. I'll never forget, like, he got up there, he was like, yeah, because you Protestants. And I was like, now what did I do?
That's another one.
What the hell did I do? And then they all, we're doing communion. And that's when they was like, oh, you Protestants. Because apparently if you Protestant, you can't take Catholic communion. I was happy. And you want to know why? Because they were drinking off the same cup. Yes. And they drink off the same cup.
The whole congregation.
And what they do, they turn it and they like wipe and turn it. But I'm like, that's not enough. So when they said it, I was happy. Why? Because we went to school Monday and everybody was sick. And I said, boom, that's what y'all asses get. But
whole congregation got mono.
That happened. And then I literally almost and then also singing their songs.
I'm not
literally
doing this.
But also singing their songs. Like their songs, like it was one, they do too much standing up. That's
standing up for every song is insane.
It's insane. And then it's an opera. I said, this shit sucks.
From a technical standpoint, yeah, your diaphragm. But
no, it's not you standing up because the song is good. We were standing up to sing, like not just the choir, everybody, and it's everyone stand, everybody stood, and you had to sing, and it was that long ass whack ass opera song, and I said, this is not for me. Had a good time though. Learned something about some of the popular kids. Would never spill y'all tea. Y'all ain't gotta worry. I don't think y'all watching this, but I would never spill y'all tea online. Online, but you just wait. I'm joking. I would never spill y'all tea, but yeah, nah. I learned some things about people, but it was yeah.
So how do you guys, as a whole, at least for me, and again, I think I've admitted that I'm probably the most confrontational out of us three.
Yes,
I do.
That would be me.
Ooh. I was like, I definitely, I like a good ruckus. I don't mind ruffling feathers. It doesn't cause me distress. Like everybody can be all up in a tizzy, and I'm just.
And that's why y'all been fighting that's why folks been fighting all Aries season. It's just been nothing but just.
And I've been having a blast.
And now we're in Taurus season. They still
such a great time during my birth month. Unfortunately, we're now in the season of Taurus. So, but I digress. We won't spend too much on them.
What were you about to ask?
I was basically going to ask, like, how do you guys navigate your more staunch Christian family members?
What do you mean?
So when they start acting amok or saying some things that is just wrong, let's take Christianity out of it. Just they say
mishandling you, treating you bad.
Let's take ourselves out of it because I think it's a little easier to advocate for ourselves.
Or like when they just like, I get what you mean. So when they just go on like they tirades and stuff about.
Like, have you ever had a peer that like literally they'll be berating a community that like. They know you're a part of. Mm-hmm. Not even just gay, like be it liberals or whatever the case may be, tearing them up. And it's just hey babes, are you aware that your brother, son, sister, cousin is a ... Mm-hmm. How do you guys navigate those conversations? Again, because I'm confrontational, I call it out immediately. I tell people that they're fucked up and that they're going to hell right along with them talking like that.
I don't have that issue, thankfully.
But I also recognize that sometimes my message isn't received well. Interested to hear what you guys
I used to jump on it and argue all the time. That's why you could ask Chippy. Growing up, you said one wrong thing, and we are going to be in a full-on debate. Mm-hmm. My dad said he used to let me do it because he thought I was going to be a lawyer.
What's that?
And you were very good at debating and arguing, so I let you prove your points to everybody. Now, how do I handle that? I don't.
I don't think about it.
I don't. I feel as though.
How do you feel those people
get idiots?
But how do those people get held accountable if
they're not going to get held accountable by me? They can deal with that from somebody else. All them years of arguing with people, nothing ever changed.
That's true.
I liked getting in their ass, but
at the end of the day, they just end up either hating you and still being stuck in their ways. Like,
they're not going to change. The only person who's really changed is Joni.
Yeah.
So,
and honestly, I think a lot of our parents changed because sometimes their love for us supersedes the one to kind of stay in their ways. They're just like, okay, this clearly is bothering my child.
Community. Let me learn what
this clearly causing him distress.
Yeah.
Like,
I think for the most part, because I never had that issue with like family members for the most part. Of course, I've always been the one to educate my family like on certain things happening. Like, oh no, that's not right because boom, 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 boom. But I never really had them like ever like really go on tirades about anything. But if they did, I was quick to be like, well, actually, and then they'd be like, oh, okay. Now, like other folks, like maybe people in the church, they would say something and I would be like, well, I definitely got in trouble a couple times in Sunday school or whatever because I was like, they would be like, I'm gonna have to tell Yo-Yo. And I'm like, okay, well, this ain't nothing Yo-Yo ain't heard. So, like, have fun with that.
We had this conversation on the way here.
Literally. But, yeah, so it was
more in the present day, though.
I guess more in the present day for me. Present day, like I guess I educate people when they write, they write, and when they're wrong. If they're saying something that's very like, it's what I could tell is coming from ignorance, I educate. And for the most part, I think my family listens to me because they always like, you know, that nigga be reading, you know, he be knowing that stuff. So I guess you take it. And
I really hate that honestly is the only reason why like I've listened to me as well. They're just like, you are a little bit smarter than the average bear. You might know what you're talking about. I disagree, but
they also
educated.
Yeah, and I will say they also get annoyed with me too because it very much does give sort of like so they like literally, and they be like, oh, all right, here he go. And my mom used to always be like, you can't make everybody believe in what you believe in. I was like, exactly. So why do we all have to believe in the church? But you know, but you know, other than that, it's been pretty cool, luckily.
And I also thought of a thought too that like how I knew for a fact that I was destined to be a heathen. Like I was like, this God thing's probably not for me. Is when they said like, yeah, and when we get done with this life of sin and you know everything that's terrible down here on earth, we're gonna go to heaven and we just gonna praise. Oh my God, day in and day out and never gonna stop. And
can I sleep?
That's what
Why is he making me a mansion on a hill of gold and all that
and
shit?
I can't go in there.
I can't go inside.
Can't take a nap. Can't eat nothing.
There's no bad bitches in heaven. Are you trying to tell me that for real?
And then wait, my favorite was like, well, you don't need it. See, that's what your body needed. Your soul don't need it. I said, but my soul might want it. My soul
don't need the praise either. I promise you it don't. Like,
it might want it.
It needs to rest.
If there's no food up there.
Rest. Can you imagine? And that's what they used to tell me too. They were like, oh, we won't need to eat. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I said, it doesn't matter what I need. It's what I want. It's what I want. You mean tell me I can't go on Twitter from heaven? Like I gotta just. I want to be a troll. I feel
like it stink though.
Heaven.
Mm-hmm. Well, they do say come as you are.
Like, before hygiene was a thing, they was going to heaven. So
heaven has no bacteria. That's the word.
I always thought of the theory that said that we were like what we are right now is basically just hell. And we're living in hell currently.
That makes more sense.
And I was like, and someone was like, if what we're living right now, if this was hell and then heaven was just us singing constantly, what would you choose? And I was like, oh, that's kind of hard. I'm not even gonna hold you.
I've always been a firm, and I'll say anything. My mom used to be like, oh God, you can't say that. That's terrible to say. I've always said like hell is aligned with me a lot more. Most times I would listen to what they think. I'm like, who down there?
It's a little hot.
Hey,
I don't know. I feel like me and Sam might be buddies, so I might get air conditioning in my unit. But
I'm not gonna say. I was about to say something. Wow, I knew I would have got canceled for that.
Y'all always leave me to say the most ignorant comments.
Because I was gonna say who you could hang with. Because I thought of a joke from Twitter, but I'm like, I don't need that smoke right now. Don't need.
We'll let y'all breathe this episode.
I just feel like
this will be my episode. To
there's
get dragged.
something. There's just something so
sinister,
diabolical.
Yes, about it just feels like they don't. It's the critical thinking is not there.
Never has
been. It's not there, and it's irritating because when it's something as simple as, "Hey, let's look over." I'm not gonna say that. I am gonna say it. Let's look over here to like Israel and like it's just the way that they was talking about. I said.
People are dying.
Like people are dying.
Literally, it's not God's children because they believe in another religion. That's insane.
Even when like the homeless situations or the pro-life, pro-choice, or the critical thinking skills to where you can't understand that, hey, that's your religion. You in your house can follow it to the T, to the letter, strictly.
They want their world to be that.
But you cannot make the whole 50 states up in this mug to follow what you believe in. I have never in life understood that. That's what pisses me off. I think that's what pisses me off the most about Christianity. It is the dominating religion. We all know this to be true.
It is.
And it's really just like seeded its way up into every little thing. And it's like, everybody doesn't believe in it, number one. Number two, all of these teachings, rules, and regulations don't work for everybody.
At all.
Third, do you not see the stupidity?
I understand. That spirit hopped in you. That spirit hopped in you for a second.
I was going idiocracy. But yeah, that's just what pisses me off about it the most. I think that's what really, really just makes me. It was a TikTok thing. And this lady who was like a Christian young mother, and she was using Beyonce Sacred. And somebody in the comments said, why are you using hair products from a witch on your hair? That's black people.
You know,
she said, I don't trust the ingredients because they might be a ritual. Because she sodium lauryl sulfates and witchcraft.
She said rice ritual. And they said, that's code for demonic stuff. I said, it's just another word for routine, habit, repeated behavior.
Well, that's the demons grow back my edges. Well, that's what
a ritual is. So it's just like, I know
what you mean, because I saw a lady on there when she was talking about the whole Israel-Palestine situation, and she said that, you know, if you are not on the side of Israel, then you are against God, yada, 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 boom, boom, boom. So and I was like, I don't, and I've said this multiple times, I quite literally don't, excuse my language, don't give a fuck about what that book has said regarding like them being the chosen people of that land. I really don't care for the situation. Israel was not always there. That literally got put there in the like it got put there in the. Joe Biden is older than Israel. Like a lot of my grandparents were older than Israel. Like y'all not making sense. And so when she said that, I said, but didn't the Bible say like not to murder thy neighbor and stuff? So what happened? What happened to that? And
they feel like if the neighbor's far enough down, it's okay to give them a shot.
Literally. And that's always the thing is that, oh, God is always on the side of like the winner of what I was just, like, I don't think so. I was like, because to be honest, I quite literally feel like, you know, eventually he gonna like, you know, I'm tired of all y'all and just send that flood again. And
according to the Christians, he's never going to do that again. But like, heaven forbid, we're probably going to get brimstone this time. Like we were drowned before. He's probably just going to cook us.
Which is not fair. I didn't do anything.
Those are my ancestors. I think Christians and their constant need to proletarize all the time. I'm sorry, y'all didn't say about my words.
No, I know what you meant. You got it.
Maybe the audience don't. Christians' constant need where they feel like they have this lifelong agenda or this thing of like, I must bring those into the fold of Christ. I have to bring more. That is our duty to be called upon. No, it's not.
I don't want to be called.
It's not. Christianity has quite literally been here for thousands of goddamn years. If you think in your narcissistic mind that them people don't know about Christians, that is going to like you. That's why mission trips have always rubbed me the wrong way. I even went on one, and even I was just like, "What the fuck are we doing here in the middle of Peru? These people ain't got no damn food. Why are we praying?
Here's a Bible.
Here's a Bible. This is her fourth child underneath the age of 16. But we gonna keep praying?
They don't see nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
They don't.
Literally asked me to get into photo ops, and I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. Nah, I don't need no ride." Like y'all, that used to. I'll never forget when I did a mission trip to Peru. And don't get me wrong, it was a fun experience at the time. I really did enjoy myself. But when we got there, we were on this like is that the correct word?
Plantation.
It wasn't plantation. They was on a plantation.
It wasn't plantation, but it wasn't in the traditional sense. Like I don't think anybody was forced to work upon it.
No, they were.
It was in Peru.
At one point.
I don't know what their slave culture was.
They got slave quarters in South Carolina still.
They do.
Hello.
We stayed in one when we were down in Alabama.
That is insane.
But We kept one from the family. It was like our great grandparents. Yeah,
there were spirits in there. Like, no, baby, I'm good. You good?
But we got there. Were running a summer camp on that area before we got there, and them kids didn't know us from a can of paint. And I mean, they are boo-hoo crying, like holding on to me, just sobbing. And at first it was like, oh, they're so sad. They got to go back to like home. Until they gave me the whole rundown, and they're like, no, they got to go back to work. And I'm like,
I didn't mean to laugh.
I was like, there's no way. I was like, that child was 8. They're like, And they sent them up into the banana trees to cut down the bananas because they're lighter than the adults. And they be there from the whole time thing. A lot of them have to leave school. That's how you end up with people that's like 4 kids with 16 or whatever. And I was just aghast. And they're like, yeah, but we're down here to teach them the good word and build them a kitchen. That's completely missing the plot.
That's stupid to me.
That's
like no social services, no providing any resources to people, no clothes, nothing. We gave them goodie bags with tracts in them.
Not tracts.
And the reason Christianity is the dominating religion in the United States is we do the same thing here. With the homeless.
Yep.
With pregnancies.
Clock that tea.
Fuck it.
Not allowing people to do what they want with their bodies.
Because I think
education.
We constantly are pushing. Not we. I'm not with y'all.
Let's
They
get that
are
clear.
always constantly. You can take the church out the child. You can take the whatever. They're constantly pushing this indoctrination of believe as I believe, which boggles my fucking mind for anybody that has a understanding of how the United States came to be. Then people literally left England for religious persecution.
The dogma.
Only to adapt those same ideals and start to do it amongst their people. Like, wait, all y'all ain't Christian? What? Well, we want religious freedom here, but no Muslims.
Okay.
No, yeah, like
literally. Thanks a lot, Goody Proctor.
Oof, 9/11.
And Nestle.
When that happened.
What?
When 9/11 happened.
That
I
pissed
said,
me
you do realize
off.
that
That pissed me off. They also serve God.
they,
The same God, actually, if you want to keep it
They
up.
did boom.
Just because they didn't throw Muhammad in there too. Like, they still the main dudes. Still same person.
Yeah.
Truly. I'm just like,
And then I was like, but don't.
There's just so many things that don't make sense again. So, like, you know how they say, like, oh, you can't
it's
only get
that
to heaven
indoctrination.
if you don't believe in Jesus, you can't get to heaven. So people that have never heard about the good word, they're just destined to hell.
I'm like, how is that fair to
God
them?
created those people just to go to hell. That's their
Basically.
whole purpose, is just to go to hell.
But like that always bothered me.
I might just be preaching in these comments.
With the whole. Never mind, I forgot my train of thought.
Listen.
But they pissed me off.
That's as far as you got. They pissed me off.
Because you were saying something about the what was you just saying?
Indoctrination.
The indoctrination, yeah.
Christianity and them.
But before that, you was listing
dogma.
things. You were listing.
Housing, homelessness.
Yeah, me and my
pregnancy.
sister had a conversation about that, and we were saying, this was me and my sister. We were talking about this, and we were saying how like it bothers me that, or maybe it wasn't my sister. We had a similar conversation. I think we had it, but like it makes no sense that we have all these churches that we are constantly giving to the church. You're paying tithes. Like my mom is still on me about paying tithes, and I'm like, later on, we'll go to that church. But all right, I give an offering, but I haven't been able to pay tithes yet because that's another
need that
bill.
10%. I'm so sorry.
And sometimes they be like, oh, you got to take it 10% off the gross. I'm not even bringing home the gross. So no, but we're paying all this money, but I'm like, besides like food giveaways, things like that, besides doing that, where are the programs that are like helping folks
helping the members of the church?
Where our students are struggling to learn. Where are the programs where y'all are hiring tutors and stuff to work with these kids after service or before service? Where are the programs that are helping people find like jobs, homes? And I'm not saying that churches don't do it, because I know my church did a little bit like that. But I'm
Mine
like
had rental assistance.
But with the amount of money we put in some of these churches, and I'm not even, I guess I should say all churches, because like I can see my church did a bit, you saying your church did. But when you have like these mega churches like Joel Osteen and all of them, and I know people love them, but
dollars.
It pisses me off. I'm like, y'all are getting millions of dollars. Y'all also don't have to pay no damn taxes because it's the church, and y'all are not doing anything to help fund like the underserved communities.
The community.
That it pisses me off. And then you have the nerve, the audacity to talk about some goddamn when that hurricane was going on. Well, nobody asked me to open up my church. Bitch,
Joel
the
Osteen
Bible
to
told
this
you.
day.
The Bible told you. You don't need the government to tell you, hey, can you open your church? The Bible. What the hell are you here for?
You shouldn't have been told to buy the Bible.
What the hell are you here for? If you are not, if you were called by God, I'm pretty sure you were called by God to give the word, right? You were also probably then called to also help serve the community. What the hell were you doing? Like, they just annoy me.
I felt the same way about my church. So like my church, if y'all familiar with it, y'all know Hale Hall on OSU?
Yeah.
Hale Hall is named after Frank Hale, who was a member of our church. We have some of the highest.
I know Derek Hale.
Huh?
I know Derek Hale.
Might have been one of his kin. I'm not.
Oh no, he's from Teen Wolf.
Oh well, damn.
Yeah, great TV show.
Hale Hall is named after Frank Hale, who was like, I don't even remember that man's like level as far as how he got the hall named after him. But lo and behold, our church used to tithe on a slow week. Anywhere from $4 to $5 million every single Sabbath, because we had a lot of doctors, lawyers, and we had a decent sized congregation. So 10% of all them people's income, we were the highest.
I came in my dress to impress too, because I was leaving with somebody.
When I went to y'all's DL, and I'm about to run a scam on you, bitch.
When I went to Peru, they literally so I only had to pay $1,400 for 9 days. That included the entire time that we were in the hotel, the entire time we're in the middle of Iquitos, Peru, the entire time the plane tickets, the trap, everything there and back. $1,400 in my pocket. The church paid for the rest of it. We were loaded. Child. And I know we're a little small subsect denomination church. We're not even one of the big ones. Mm-hmm. So I can only imagine the CLCC or a CSCC over there. I'm calling y'all out because y'all have a damn elevator, and I know the pastor's house has an elevator too, because I went there because we used to talk to y'all's daughters. We went to the same school. Y'all make too much damn money for people to still be having to struggle with their. Even our church, when I mentioned we did rental assistance, the hoops you had to jump through to get that. Bananas. They would charge people we'll help you with the rental assistance, but when's the last time you've tithed? I can't pay rent. What the fuck you mean? When is the last time I tithed?
My church had a whole school attached to it though.
Ours did too.
Mine's did not.
Not Emmanuel. What was it?
And they learned God, but no reading.
Oh,
clock that T.
A child was left behind at those Christian schools. I'm sorry. And I went there for 2 years. My mom snatched us out so quick. Absolutely
a lot of kids be left behind.
Absolutely not.
A lot of them.
She cared more about our education than our saying, what?
Oh, never mind.
I'm screaming.
No, I would say fellas, to wrap things up, we can definitely get into our final segment, which is going to be a rapid fire church gripes, where we just... It's our time to really let the chopper sing and tell them everything that you absolutely hate, or
just stop grabbing the mic when your breath stank. Okay,
we can smell it.
And not only can we smell it, because ain't nothing worse than you get a mic to sing and you smelling somebody's breath on it. Pisses me off. Brush your teeth.
I would like for choirs to come back, and I mean full choirs. I don't mean 8 people.
Well, people have to come back to church to do that.
6 mics. Exactly. There's enough people. They still want to hold COVID regulation type stuff to it. But I'm tired of the praise teams. I'm very tired of it. There's no full sound. It just sounds very
hollow,
evil.
That's what it was when I went.
It sounds horrible. I'm sorry. It doesn't sound horrible, but it sounds horrible. It don't hit the same like back in the day where you got
40 voices deep, 100 voices
20, 30 people up there just going in.
Because even at the Easter service that I went to recently, when I say them shout out to Miss Cynthia, Miss Pat. Y'all did y'all best to hold that together, because but that is a thing,
Cynthia
because
Cynthia who? Blonde hair?
I don't know.
Okay.
Wait, is her hair blonde? Her hair ain't been blonde since I was.
Y'all talking about a lady of that.
What's her last name? What's her last name?
Named Cynthia. There's about 79 million of them.
She had curly.
We're gonna talk.
Okay.
Oh, it may not be her. We're gonna talk.
Okay.
But I say shout out to them because Yeah, no, same thing happened. They were singing, and I was like, y'all are doing y'all best. And I see y'all are fighting to keep it together. But it's a couple of them in the middle between y'all that y'all just go ahead and sit down.
I need that mass choir back. I really need that. On another topic, a lot of you cliquey mother people.
Oh, Jesus.
Demons.
Cliquey in the church, mean girls in the church, high school antics in the church. It's sickening, and it's also
it discourages people from coming into the church.
It really does discourage people from coming.
That's
and
why
sometimes
I
love black nepotism.
I hate to cuss you out.
Because I'll beat your ass in the church. I don't care.
But nepotism in the church is something that
Huge.
very big.
It needs to stop.
Needs to stop immediately.
Forthwith, please.
Because just because your daddy had to call and your daddy had to give does not mean you do. You're not saying anything. You're rambling up there.
And let me tell you about this. I have broken down many a pastor's kid.
Oh.
Those are usually the worst ones.
Yeah, no, they normally do be the worst ones. But
dating, here's a rapid fire.
Holy.
Dating church men who are heavy in the ministry. I think I already said this earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. It's something so off. Like, it's just the same way with DLs. It's something so
terrible to date, great for sex.
Hello. No, and that's very true.
No, for real. It's all that repression. As soon as they get a little piece, they be like,
But then they be so in their feelings afterwards though. And I hate that. So in their feelings afterwards. Just as like one the trans, who's it? Sexy Lexi. Every time, like when she was in her former career of a back page or
yes.
she would always carry a gun with her because she was like, every time they would come over and get done, they would sit on the edge of the bed like, I can't believe I just did this. And she was like, they used to literally kill us and beat us up and leave us under the hotel bed. So that's why she always had that gun. People just need to come to terms with who they are
and live your truth.
A lot of people in the church are
hiding.
Yeah. And
not well.
It's okay. It's okay. It really is. Oh, I can't stand the ones who be hiding and you be straight. Girl, I said they know you're gay, baby. They know you're gay, baby.
Me and the missus, and it's like,
I'm so sorry.
Your beard,
so
like,
sorry.
Okay. Listen, my opinion, that I definitely feel
like
that are dated. Yuck.
Back when I was in the church heavy, I used to only deal with like church because that was the
that's all you need.
Environment. I was there 4 days.
I didn't even want to date a woman from church. I'm just gonna keep it. I didn't want to date anybody that had anything to do with the church because I didn't like it.
Anybody that's heavy
church
in the church
women
is
for
off.
me, a lot of them. I feel like there's so much an indoctrination of how a woman should be in the church that a lot of them are semi-brain dead.
I can't stand a submissive woman.
I can't. I really can't. Cuss me out. Give me a little back. Do not let me lead. I don't need to always lead.
When I see a woman like just being so up in a man's ass, I'm just like, girl, stand up.
Stand up.
Because he could leave you tomorrow.
Literally, damn near a butt plug.
He could leave you tomorrow. Stand up.
Butt plug is crazy.
You gotta have your own. You gotta have your own.
I also feel like we need to start taxing these churches for that very reason.
Low-key same, yeah.
Like, again, we should
I
not have
don't know
been
why they weren't being taxed. I never understood
We should have never been bringing in millions of dollars every week. That was just...
Again, separation of church and state.
I didn't think that was normal for other churches. Like, I thought everyone... Is that not normal?
Every Sunday?
Saturday, but no. Is that not normal?
No.
How much were y'all bringing in?
Shit, I don't know. Couple thousand, maybe.
No,
enough to pay the mortgage on the building.
We had one time a drive at our church over a span of 3 months, and it was just to get like the bathrooms renovated, extend the little church and the school in the back. I think it was like maybe 110,000, 90,000, whatever.
That was your goal?
That was our goal. We cleared it in a month and a half. And we set it for 3. So like that shouldn't have been allowed. There should have never been that much money just flowing through there.
Shouldn't have.
And they're so asking us like, we need y'all to give. Because I remember our last pastor that I was there, he was a little greedy little fucker. He would have tithes go around. He'd have offering go around. I swear to God, I'm pretty sure he counted it or like saw how heavy the plates were at anything and would like few Sabbaths, that plate would make its way back around almost like he wasn't pleased at what was received. Like, I know y'all can do better than that, was the energy that he would give sometimes, especially since like we had this track record of all this money. And they're like, I think there was a few summers where he might have been like, a couple of y'all done lost y'all's jobs. Like, what's going on? Like, and when it got that money hungry, I was like, y'all need to go to hell.
God said, give what you can.
Give what you can.
So if I can give a penny,
I gave what
it.
I wanted.
Same.
Because I'm sorry, 10% just never made any sense to me. Especially like you said when they used to say off the gross. If I never see it, he won't either.
You like
he can't bless you like that. He ain't blessing me now. So what do we?
No, because they said like you're supposed to tithe because that money will make its way back to you. Which I will say I kind of believe it in a second, but then like also
before or after rent.
Exactly.
They say that to poor people all the time.
Yeah.
The same thing they said
poor for 10 years. Your breakthrough is coming. It's not.
It's not.
He's gonna be poor for the rest of his
All
life.
I know is I broke it down. I don't know about a breakthrough, but I broke it down. It's the same thing they told poor people that like money doesn't buy happiness. That's
a lie. It may not buy happiness, but it'll buy me a peace of fucking mind.
Okay.
Brother.
Bills is paid and food in the fridge, and I got money to shop. I'm happy as hell.
If honestly, I'd be very happy if I could cry about normal emotions. Like, I'm actually just sad because I'm sad, not because I can't feed myself.
I think
that ain't never been the case. I'm gonna eat.
I think my only, I guess my rapid fire gripes with church is like, I hate when they make a community their target, whether it be the LGBTQ community, whether they be like, unwed mother, things like it pisses me off because one, I know y'all like when they did that in the church, I was like, I know y'all. You are not the holy and thou person you think you are. And then they always phrase it and like, well, I wasn't always the most, but I'm a work in progress. Okay, great. But why are you judging somebody? Y'all always say God can only judge. So why are you judging?
They don't judge the right people either.
They don't. And
we don't ever target the violent men, the men that are cheating,
the men that are in the church.
Now, I'll never forget, at one point, there was a situation that happened at my church. If they see this, if they want to beat my ass, they can try. You won't. My mom might not be mad. But I remember there's a situation where like there were, within the youth, with our peers, apparently there's a situation where a girl and a boy were in the bathroom together.
That was me bad.
Oh Lord! And they
were tear them down in the nurse's station.
What does he say? Candy should be here. Or they were trying to. Yeah. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe the girl was no longer allowed back at the church. She wasn't allowed to come to the church. The boy was able to stay.
Of course.
And I mean, he got in trouble, but he was able to stay. And I was like, hold on. It take two to tango. He had to stick it in. So shouldn't they both be like, okay, y'all both can't come? Like, and why is your answer to let's keep them away from the church rather than, you know what, these are some young people, they clearly need guidance, they are experiencing hormones, let's give them to talk about sex, let's talk to them about like
instead
why
of making it this taboo thing.
Exactly. But instead you're not going to do it because you think, absence is the only answer. Abstinence is not the only answer. And if it was, a lot of folks would, a lot of people would not be here.
Education is the answer.
And that's what, like, and when I saw that happen,
is the answer.
Quick question, I never asked y'all early in thing, and I'll leave this one of our last points. Did y'all's church marry folk that were of different faiths?
No.
So like,
I honestly don't know.
Ours literally like you could not get married at the church if like you wanted to marry a Catholic or hell like if your partner was Baptist and you were Seventh-day Adventist, they would not allow you to get married at the church.
They wouldn't allow you in order to get married at our church or whatever. You had to go to the counseling with the pastor, which I hear me out again. No disrespect. However,
full disrespect.
Do you have do you at least have a certificate from Full Sail University to say that you can do marriage counseling? So then why do you think that, because the Bible, like, the
pastor's marriage automatically was this like perfect marriage because he's a pastor and obviously it's
whole time he cheated.
Whole time he's cheating.
Whole time and cheat. Not my pastor. No, never mind. But
not my pastor.
No, but whole time they be cheating. Whole time they mess with little boys. Oh, and this is what I wanted to hit on earlier. The first 48, I'll never forget. Y'all was talking about like the violence in the church and the predators in the church. There's an episode of the first 48 when they killed this man. They killed this man. His house was laid. I remember my mom was like, "Oh, his house is laid," and my mom was like, "His house is laid," and she was looking and she was like,
Black folk gonna give their
She knew.
tens.
She knew. She said. She knew. His house is laid. He's single. I'm looking at how he dressed, and she said, "I already know where this is going."
Oh yeah.
That man was literally inviting like struggling men who were struggling down in the if like, oh, you can stay here, get a job, like I help you out, and then he was assaulting them. And the one he assaulted this time, that he was like like got him real good, as you should, in my opinion. And I'll never forget saying, because I remember he was talking to him and he was upset. He was like that he tried to do something to me and it's cool. And they was like, you were defending yourself. Like, and when there, I was like, that's crazy, because that happened. They had a whole episode of it. The pastor face on the screen, all that. Do you think they talk about that at the church? No.
Do you think that they talk about?
They're not gonna talk about those scandals. They don't talk about none of that. But what they will talk about, two random people who date and who ain't got nothing to do with the church, who are of age and both consenting, but just because they're the same sex, it's an issue. Or just because this girl had a baby, they had a baby out of wedlock and they living together. That's the issue. You literally have predators in your pew.
And that's all the more time for the church to rally around to young adults that had children underneath wedlock. Like, if anything, they probably need more support.
Exactly.
And then also, as we sign off, TD Jakes, you will be dealt with.
Have you ever been swallowed?
Swallowed up. Have you been swallowed up by the judicial system?
You Powder House.
You said the Powder House?
Potter House. That's his church, his mega church.
It's also could be called the Powder House because
Jamal Bryant, you are also trash.
What do you mean?
The Powder House because of Carisha. TD Jakes was at Diddy parties.
She don't go to his church.
That's General High Booty. You didn't read the documents?
Please.
He was actually in the documents.
Yes.
His name?
As General High Booty, yes.
Please.
And I bet they have not addressed it at all.
I will say this. You suck, Jamal Bryant. You suck so bad.
Hey, if you can leave somebody's church after having 16 kids with 16 different women in the church,
and then,
is this more housewife nonsense?
Yeah,
wow.
But he's still a prominent pastor though, outside of
and still be at churches invited and stuff. Because my mom and them, where were they? I think they were in New Orleans last year. No, they were in DC, and she saw him. She didn't see it. She didn't say hi, but he like walked past. They were eating, and so I was like, "Oh my God, there go Jamal Bryant." She was like, "Where?" And I was like, "Bum." But it makes sense because he's short.
All I know is Megan Good is a lot happier since she left her husband.
She's a fool too.
She was a ditch.
She still is.
She still is. So she's
still with
Yeah,
she's with that civil rights leader.
He do got a civil rights leader face.
He do. Yeah, that man looks like he came from straight out the 1950s.
That's his fault. You should have
wanting a white woman and all. But
hello.
They'll always be your downfall.
Took a page right out of Martin Luther King's book. Okay.
And clock that thing. But it's funny because when all that went down, they said like he was terrible to work with on set. They was like, "Oh, this man has always been horrible,
awful."
They say he's terrible, abusive, and everything. I said, "Oh, well, that kind of he looks like the type."
The husband or the new man?
No, the new man. Jonathan Majors. Yeah, I say he looks the type.
He was talking about some.
You need to be my Coretta.
He would be my Coretta too. How a white woman gonna be Coretta? Which again brings us back to the Martin Luther King point. Maybe he meant to say the white lady though.
Maybe honestly, it could have been a double entendre.
You know. He was rapping. He was spitting bars.
Maybe her name was also Coretta. I don't know. It was the 1950s, so everybody was named like Paige and
Paige.
Beth Sue.
Shout out to Paige Halliwell. Paige Matthews.
Fuck them
Charmed
ladies.
Charmed.
Oh.
God damn it.
I love.
Finally.
That's
got you.
Truly. And I will say thank you to my mom. Thank you, because the way they used to be like, don't let him watch that. And she was like, it's TV. Thank you. Watch Harry Potter, Charmed, all the witch stuff, all the scary stuff.
We would never watch any of that.
I loved it.
Really?
My mom,
you're not bringing up witchcraft in my house.
My mom did not care. She did not.
But then I watched it years later. I said, I wasn't missing anything. I don't get this.
Harry Potter. Oh, you out of your mind.
That was top tier. Did you at least read the books?
No,
that's
the read or no.
Well, I'm saying you should cook. I'm saying you should read the books because the books were way better than the movies.
The books are always usually better than movies and all things.
That changed me. I was waiting for my letter. I said, I know I'm about to go to this.
I knew. I just knew a owl was gonna come through with my.
Avada Kedavra. Like I knew the
Hufflepuff.
Oh my God, I'm Slytherin.
You would be Slytherin.
I found out
down.
I was Slytherin. I took that test 3 times and they said, bitch, you're Slytherin.
Down.
I said, oh.
Snake ass bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, the house.
Yeah, I was Slytherin.
House of Slytherin.
House of Slytherin. And what was the other one? House of what?
You got Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Hufflepuff. Yeah. Slytherin was like the evil one, and I found out I was in. I said,
This be me when y'all be talking about Housewives. I be like, I'm like, but why are they mad at each
Atlanta,
other?
Potomac,
Yeah, we wanna watch that.
Salt Lake.
Werewolves, the stuff.
Love Teen Wolf.
Twilight, you
Love
mean?
The Vampire
That
Diaries.
was when I
Twilight,
watched that.
watch that.
Twilight was garbage. It got overhyped.
Or that
I
Hobbit
like
and
the
the King's
books.
Lord's Rings.
Lord of the Rings. I
Rings.
watched those. Yeah.
It was a little lengthy. Those were, I did not find those to be fun books.
She said, no witchcraft in my house.
I like magic.
I think the only thing my mom was a little like, ooh, about reading was one time I had got a book and they was talking about the first demon named Lilith. And she was like, maybe you shouldn't read that. I read that book
it
anyway.
was
I said,
true.
this is good. This
Yeah.
is good. I said, shout out to Lilith. She sounded like a bad bitch.
Do you know technically Lilith was Adam's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I just wanna
Oh,
know.
yeah, you know, I know that.
I want to know how y'all know y'all's word.
Listen, because I be, you know, I be researching because I'm like, this seems fun. This is interesting.
Lilith was Adam's side hoe. Or was it his first wife?
I think she was first wife. She was the
First
first wife,
wife.
and she was too headstrong.
She
Y'all
was too
need to
her.
do y'all's research on the whole homosexual sleeping with men in the Bible.
Versus pedophilia.
Because it was pedophilia literally, but
Which y'all still condone in the churches today.
hello.
And with that, this again has been your SpitFyre cast, talking all things church. And till next week, we will see you guys soon.
Yes.
I
Signing
never
off
know
from
which camera to
Last
look out.
Legend.
Who?
Last Legend. New WWE diva, top tier,
Oh.
my girl. Her and Jakara Jackson,
When you
top
said
tier.
Lash Legend, I'm like,